ladies and gentlemen, we have liftoff here with SPX 6900. It is over 1.3 billion at this point, as we are just entering, I'd say, still the early stages of this bull run with Trump not even in office yet. I wanted to discuss some beta plays based off of the SPX 6900 narrative. Now, I have talked about the stock to meme, but this is specifically plays based off of SPX in specific. And there's three different coins I'm going to be talking about. This is the big dog. And when it comes to this, listen, I would be totally happy with SPX going to 50 billion, 60 billion, 70 billion, whatever it ends up going to. I own none of this coin. I did own it. I sold it too early, but it doesn't really matter because let's just say we've got some other plays that are lower in terms of market cap. And, what I advise is none of this is financial advice. Would I advise anyone buying a coin like this? I mean, listen, I don't see the point. I understand retail is going to come in there. Listen, if you're buying any meme coin at like $30 billion in market cap, you just pumping other people's bags. And the people recommending this coin, they've already got millions of dollars worth of it. And look, maybe it'll go to 50 or 60 billion, which is basically from here. I mean, it's like a 45x at this point because it's at 1.3, but yeah, just a crazy, crazy run SPX 6900's been on. And we know there are so many people in the space, a lot of the meme coin top influencers shilling this coin. And I'm fine with it going as high as possible. But what are the beta plays based off of this coin alone? Obviously, we've got the stock to meme narrative with NASDAQ 420, the MicroStrategy 2100, DJT 4700, CSI 888, coins like that. And I'm in some of those, certainly. I'm in a quite bit of those. But the first play based off of SPX would be SPX 6900 2.0. Now, originally, I thought this was just a 2.0 version, because this is what they do with coins, to where if there's a meme coin that goes crazy, they just create another one and call it 2.0. But there was a backstory behind this. The dev that created this coin originally was involved. I think he might have created the original XPX 6900, but he got screwed out of the project. And so then he launched this one. And this is just 2.0. It's got basically the same supply. I think it'd be pretty cool if they burn some more of it. Partially that's because I'm already invested into it. But either way, I mean, right now it's sitting around 1 million. Taking a look at it, it had a nice pump recently. I mean, even with this nice pump, it's still, what did it go from around 300K market cap to 1.2 million? It's sitting right below 1 million. Looking at a coin like this, what could it potentially do? I think the key to understand, once SPX goes, let's just say 15, 20 billion, you're going to see, maybe even before then, you're going to see a lot of whales rotate from SPX, take out some of their profits, and go for more lower market cap coins. Now, I think there are other coins within the stock to meme narrative that have positioned themselves possibly maybe slightly better than SPX 6900 2.0, like NASDAQ 420. But this really is it's a 2.0. So there's going to be a lot of retail. Maybe they get some profit. Then they say, oh, the 2.0, it's lower. Or maybe it's just somebody new coming into crypto and they understand the dynamics of market cap. If you're looking at SPX 6900 sitting at 32 billion, are we really getting a 20x from here? No, we're not. That's absurd. You want a 20x, you've got this. Maybe it's at like 4 or 5 million. You could be talking about a 20 or 30x. So it's just the 2.0 version. Now, there's some good lore to it. Again, it's not just created as like you missed the first SPX, just buy this one. It's lower in market cap. It's got a higher chance to X. I mean, that's honestly why I bought it. But there's also more of a lore behind the creator of this coin. And so, I mean, what did it hit? Pretty much all the stock to meme coins were at their high point outside of SPX 6900. They were all at their high point in like October to early November, and then they all tanked. But I think this probably did find a floor, considering we would hope that with Trump coming in, and it's not just Trump, it's just the narrative overall, 2025 going to be the biggest year for crypto. I don't even think we've seen really the first wave of retail enter. I think we're going to get at least 4 or 5 great months minimum. And hopefully that hasn't even started. Hopefully SPX 6900 2.0 could be at 10 to 15 million before the first wave even starts, maybe gets a few pumps. And you're going to see more and more people as the original SPX 6900 gets more and more pricey and gets a higher and higher market cap, 3, 4, 5, 10 billion, whatever it ends up being. there's going to be people looking for other ones, and this is the literal 2.0. So they're already familiar with the whole branding. Now you've got the 2.0. Yes, there is some lore behind it. Most of the time, people don't even pay attention to that, especially noobs that come into the space. But it's just the idea to where this one's a lot lower in market cap. You've got a higher chance to get that 100x, that 500x, whatever it ends up being. You know, what would be a price prediction on this? I think it's impossible to say, but you do look at the Pepe 2.0, and you've also got another just Pepe coin in general. I think the Pepe coin, because the original Pepe, obviously it's in the billions, like 10 billion, 12 billion, whatever. It recently had another run because Elon changed his name. But the secondary Pepe, I think it's called Pepe coin. I believe it crossed a billion, or it was right around a billion. And obviously that would require SPX, the original, to go to like 30 or 40 billion for this thing to see anywhere close to like 500 million or a billion. But with the shilling we've seen from the original SPX6900, with a lot of top influencers saying it's their number one meme of the cycle, and it's already positioning itself at like 1.3, 1.4 billion right now, you know, there's going to be a lot of people looking at other lower market cap type SPX plays. And it's not just going to be SPX, it's going to be the NASDAQ, it's going to be CSI. There's another NASDAQ on Solana, although I don't think that one's going to do nearly as well as the Ethereum one. But other coins like that. And then the other two I want to talk about, neither of these two are on either CMC or CoinGecko, which is a bit annoying. But this is the XSP. So this is, they're trying to peg 10% of SPX 6900, which obviously is very unlikely to happen. Let's be honest. Right now, the market cap of this is 138K. So it's like, and really, it hasn't really seen a pump recently. But I mean, I think for this coin, it needs to get on, you know, CoinGecko. You know, but we'll see what it ends up doing. Right now, it's hovering again around 138K. They want to get to 10%, just like the I think the actual it's the actual name of it is XSP69. I really wish they would have named it 6900 just to get the branding 100% right. But I don't know if it really matters. But just like in real life, it's trying to get 10% peg of the SPX official coins. So right now, a 10% peg in terms of market cap, you know, you're looking at like 130 million. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be very hard to do that. You could say, well, it's something, you know, to work towards, but it's like, I don't know, man. I am personally, I'm invested in this because, you know, I like these stock to meme coins, so I got to buy them, to be honest. You know, you got to buy them sometimes, but it's a hope and a prayer. We'll see what happens with it, but it's there as well. This is another one that people might rotate into. It's a little bit lower. And then you also have this one, probably something a lot more people are familiar with. This is just the based version of the SPX. So you can see it just says based XPX 6900. It's got the exact same ticker, and it's just the blue version because base is blue. And you're dealing with less fees as well. But when it comes to the based plays, because with a lot of these meme coins, they turn them into based variants. Based Pepe, I think, is at 130 million right now. It's actually might be even higher than that. Base Pepe is doing very well. And look, I'm not saying it's going to be the exact same with based SPX. Like, what is it at right now? 131. What did it hit? Yeah, this will probably go to over a billion, you would expect, during this. Now, again, I'm not saying that the based variant of SPX will do that, but I mean, this is a very clean branding. You got the blue. I like it. It's making higher lows as well, although this was just released, which could be either bearish or bullish, depending on how you look at it, especially going into a bull market. Normally, if this thing was released in 2020, even like earlier this year, I'd say don't buy it, but I'm not giving financial advice. Personally, I do have some of this coin just because I like getting all the variants, and I like the blue, honestly. But, and also, you know, you get zero fees. That's something when you're trying to cash out 6 or 7 figures, you know, you'd rather be dealing with, we're going to be hit with those $700 or $800 fees on Ethereum. It's a bit annoying. And with base, you're not going to be dealing with that. So that's why I've been trying to get a few base coins, and this is a base play. But there's other base coins that, you know, you can like the Pepe. There's also, I think there's base Giga Chad, but that one's only at 200K as well. I don't know if there's any other variants. Turbo's at around 9 million. Fartcoin is at around 16 million, but it's down 30% because it was at like 24 or 25 million in market cap, the based variant. Because I was looking at all the based variants, but you can see they're just the blue versions of it. Oh, maybe this is the based Chad coin. Oh, so that might be the actual narrative instead of Giga Chad, because there's a base Giga Chad that's at like 230K or something. I didn't buy it, but I did see it. And then just like, for example, so you look at like the other Pepes, because obviously the number one Pepe, oh, it's only at 800, it's only at 8 billion. Someone was telling me it went way up after Musk. I guess not, because I saw it was at 9 billion last. I never check like the big boys just because I don't care. I mean, I'm not invested into them. But like, see, look at this. The secondary is at 250K or for 250 million. So it'll be a multi-billion-dollar coin this cycle, the secondary Pepe. And then that's not to say based SPX is going to be a multi-billion-dollar coin, or SPX 2.0 is going to be a multi-billion-dollar coin. But it's just to give you an example that the betas within like the exact same coin, like Pepe versus Pepe coin, one is at 9 billion, the other's at 250 million. I mean, it's still very impressive. And so like there's multiple, but I mean, obviously Pepe is going to be a huge thing. Doge is another one that's very big. You've got Dogecoin. You've got, oh, they don't even have the, they don't have the thing that, but like baby Dogecoin, although there was a lot of invested in that coin in terms of advertisements. So I don't know if I would, but like obviously there's other variants of Dogecoin that are at billions or at like, you know, so if you've got SPX and it gets to 30 or 40 billion, undoubtedly there are going to have to be variants that perform better than SPX from here. Now, obviously, if you're buying SPX when it's at 10 million, you won the lottery and you held it, actually, unlike me. But if you're looking at SPX right now and you have 0 coins of the original, I don't really see a big value in buying this. Now, there are people who tell you to buy it because they've already got millions of this coin and they want to see it, you know, they want to see it go to 40 or 50 billion. And I hope it does, because then there'll be variants. But I'm just saying, from my perspective, if you're brand new, getting a 50x on this is going to be very challenging. And you could say, well, it's going to be easier because it's, you know, everyone's pushing it and stuff, and all these other smaller ones are crap. And I mean, I guess, I don't know. I would always just take the risk, honestly. Like, to me, this is like this could very easily do a 500x or a 1000x, more so than this doing a 50x. I mean, 50x is 60 billion. I guess it could go to 60 billion. I hope it does go to 60 billion. But the other thing you have to think about, if this is at 60 billion, do we really think SPX 2.0 would be like under 100 million if the 1.0 is at 60 billion? This is the main variant of SP. Now, again, there's other within the stock to meme. The market's going to be flooded. There's going to be a lot of whales in SPX 6900 rotating to NASDAQ, rotating to a few of those other, you know, USD Gen 6900 coins like that. But it just doesn't, if you're from a investment perspective, if you're someone with only a few $1,000s, or even if you've got like 40 or 50K, unless you want to play it safe. If you want to play it safe, SPX 6900, you will undoubtedly, I think, at least make a 10 or a 15x, because I think it's going to go to 10, 15. I mean, it's already at 1.3 billion. I mean, right now, obviously, you're buying the top. I mean, I wouldn't touch, I would never, like the second this coin did this, I'm not touching it. That's just my investment strategy. I'm not going to buy a coin and pump out, you know, a meme coin that's $500 million. The only way I'd buy that is if I have like $5 million to invest into it, because then I could get multiples easier. And I mean, there is the idea that the coin, it's less risky because it's the price of what it is. It's not going to suffer a major downturn. And trust me, I've had fair share of that in investing into smaller meme coins. But just from a perspective of, you're trying to get a 500x or a 1000x, you're not going to get that with SPX 6900. You're just not. Now, their argument is, oh, it's safer because it's higher in market cap and there's more people shilling it. But it's like, let's think about this. If this is actually at $50 billion, so you get your like 40x if you buy right now at 1.3 billion. If this is at $50 billion, you're going to tell me this is not at least 100xing? I would be, I mean, nobody really knows. But if you look at the behavior of the Pepe variants, this thing would be at like 250 million. And there's other lore with it as well. But it's going to be a saturated market. I mean, that's just what the stock to meme is. There's multiple ones that are going to be, you know, bought. So, and then you've also got these smaller ones. We'll see what happens with these. The based one, I think, could do well. I mean, imagine the base. Think about it. If the original SPX is at like 50 billion, the based variant I think at least has got to be at, considering we've seen other based variants. Well, actually, is there a based Doge? You'd think there would be. Imagine there is, and it's at like 100K. There's really not even a base Doge. Wow. That's surprising. But the based variants are You know, if you've got a base Pepe at 131 million with the original Pepe at 9 billion, well, if Pepe goes to 80 billion this cycle, the base Pepe is probably going to go to a billion. And I'm not saying based SPX is going to follow that, but it's going to be like something along those lines. You would imagine even the original fart coins at like this is a lot lower. I mean, you could say this is a better buy, because the original one is at 1.4 1.3 billion, and the based variant is at 16 million right now, down 31%. Brand new coin, there's going to be a lot of volatility to it. But yeah, so I would be looking at the secondary options rather than the original SPX. You're going to get a lot of retail buying this. They're going to be buying it when it's $25, $30. I mean, I hope it goes to $100. That would be great, because I think there's going to be a trickle down effect. And you could even get something to where it's towards the end of the cycle and people are cycling out of XPX, but they're putting it in the 2.0. They're putting it in an NASDAQ 420. They're putting it in an XSP69. They're putting it in a based SPX. They're going to the secondary variants towards the end of the cycle as well, which might complicate an exit strategy if you have to wait that long. But that's just what happens with the very, very small market cap memes. That's what happens. But I would hope to see like a run up from the 2.0 to like 10 million or so. I mean, I don't know when, but hopefully relatively soon, just because you want to be in a better position, than where it is right now at a million, considering that the 1.0 is at 1.3, 1.4 billion. You'd want to at least be like 10 or 12 million to be, so that could be a little bit bearish there. But I would just always rather buy the lower, in most cases, unless you have like a lot of money to where you can afford to be safe. But that's just my opinion on these coins. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on X. Links to that's always in the description.